You're tuned into the very best Manhood Mindset on WVGS 91.9 The Buzz.
Man, we be in here tripping. Y'all don't understand. Hope y'all enjoying the old school vibe, man. We're just trying to get y'all some positive vibes in here this afternoon, man. It's Thursday. Football is on. I think that's what a lot of people on. You can still go to Ustream if you got some people that want to tune into the show. Go to Ustream.com, and then you can enter Manhood Mindset. Actually, Zeta Delta Delta Manhood Mindset. You can actually stream us live, man. So we appreciate all of your support and all of that good stuff you got going on. So, man, also, too, one of the things that was suggested to us is that when a lot of people are going through a lot of different things, it's very, very important to understand what you're actually eating and drinking. All right? And trust me, we have been ambassadors for the Big and Tall section since birth. Yeah, man. We're not nutritionists. We're just basically telling you. Yeah, I am. The first house I ever invested in was the House of Waffles. So, it's just one of those things that's like the second home, okay? However, what we're trying to say is certain things that you actually consume. You all right? You okay?
Yeah.
I've been an all-star since I was 5. Like, seriously.
I started when I was 7. I get it.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, I was at Waffle House before I even had teeth. It's pictures. It's pictures, man. You don't have to chew grits. It's proven. All right. But no, honestly, man, some of the stuff that we consume, man, especially in this situation that we're in, the constant situation we're in, your consumption of alcohol or just, certain foods or whatever. Look up just some things. My friend introduced me to something called alkaline diet, meaning that anything that's above a level, pH level of 7. Please research this because I'm definitely not well versed on it. But however, I am looking up different fruits and vegetables that are alkaline, meaning that they give a specific level of energy to the body. You don't want to eat anything, especially if you're depressed. If you are, I guess, an emotional eater. I've been known to eat when I'm either happy or sad or when I'm just in a level state. Now, hell, I'm an eater. So it don't have to be emotional. But sometimes when we're going, we're depressed or whatever, or we're having some type of trauma, or we're feeling sadness, a lot of us may consume certain things that may be toxic for our bodies. And so no matter what you do, you have to understand something, that whatever you put in your body does affect your mindset, regardless if you want it to or not. Because your brain is affected by any type of pain or any type of sluggishness that your body actually experiences, and your brain actually is affected. Also, too, man, a lot of people who are stressed out, I see a lot of people going out lifting a lot of weights, working out, getting personal trainers, and not being stagnant. I had a conversation with a business owner one time, and she said something that was very, very profound. She said, if you ever looked at bodies of water, some of the cleanest and most beautiful, bodies of water are like anything that has a steady flow of waves or whatnot, especially like a waterfall or something like that. Those are much more beautiful. Yeah. And she said any body of water that's stagnant, anytime when you see stagnant water, it usually has something to do with some type of disease that could be affiliated with it. And she said, so what you try to do is, your body is a body of water. If our body is 70% water, is that the narrative? Mm-hmm. If your body is 70% water, man, it will have to flow. It will have to have an even flow to it. That means you have to circulate, meaning you have to sweat a lot. You have to put food in your body that helps you think. And you have to exercise to make sure you're sweating things out. And also, too, anything that your body naturally does, you need to allow it to do it. You know what I mean? So crying, sweating, working out. If it's tired, you need to lay down. I know a lot of people, when they get stressed, they want to stay up all types of hours at night. And not gonna lie to you, man, just having a lack of sleep. I know a lot of people. You ever notice when you don't sleep? You ever heard somebody bragging on how much sleep they don't get?
Yeah, like that's a goal or something.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it doesn't do anything but add stress, and it makes your body shut down. And one thing about your body, if you don't allow it to sleep, it will steal it. Okay, your body's not dependent on if you want to lay down or not. Your body will lay down for you. You know what
It'd be funny too.
Yeah, for real. You're like, man, I'm finna go out. You be like, man, did you just down? Did you just log off in front of me? You be like, no, man, I think my body just shut down, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow. Like, you know what I mean? So, but no, just respect your body, respect your time, and respect what you put in your body. I'm not a nutritionist, so you can probably say you probably know that. However, I do understand the days that I don't consume animal products is when I do have a lot more energy. No lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So when I stop eating like animal products for breakfast or something like that, I ain't gonna lie, I have better days. If I get up and just eat some fruit or something, I be on point. Eat just a watermelon, man. A lot of people don't understand what watermelon can do for you.
It's delicious.
It is the best fruit on the planet.
Delicious.
And it's alkaline for what I've been told, man. So you make me
some good kiwi.
Exactly. Get you some citrus fruits and all this other stuff. I drink my friend put me on apple cider vinegar in the mornings.
You know what also you can do?
What's that?
Cut up strawberries and put them in your Frosted Flakes and then add sugar.
I don't wanna. Hold on, cut up fresh strawberries, put them in your Frosted Flakes, and add sugar on things that's already frosted.
I mean, just a little bit, just to coat the strawberry, just a little bit, just a little sprinkle. Like, look.
You are the man.
I'm telling you, if you ever do that, you'll be like, and I thought this was great on Honey Nut Cheerios. This is amazing. Oh my God.
Hold on, man. People just realized that you add sugar to Frosted Flakes.
I'm not the only one.
I know you ain't.
I'm not the only one.
You ain't. You talking about hyper sleepy.
I put ketchup on my rice too, with seasoning salt.
Okay, you by yourself. Okay?
No, I'm not.
I know. This is the
Y'all
time.
add ketchup, people. I can't stay. Oh,
no, you have to. You have isolated yourself with ketchup rice. You know, you just make.
Don't knock it till you try it. It's
no,
delicious.
no. I'm gonna knock it.
It is delicious.
I'm gonna knock it and leave it. I'm not putting ketchup on my rice, dog. I can't do it. I've judged you. I'm sorry. It's well thought out judgment, dog. I can't even do it. Can't even do it, man. Also, too, the books that we read. I know a lot of times we have book lists that a lot of people suggest.
I want some rice in that. I got seasoning salt.
Rice, ketchup, and seasoning salt, man.
I'm sorry, I just got excited.
No, bro. You won because I'm not doing it. Take a picture. Let us know how it go. I can't even watch it.
I do it all the time. I've done it since I was 6. My brother started it. Me doing it.
Okay. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I actually used to eat oatmeal pie and Doritos. Don't ask.
Those are actually delicious.
Together?
No.
See how you just judged? You just judged. It's okay. And when people used to catch me, like, what's that one bag? Why is your bag looking different? I'm like, nothing, they fell in there. Like, did you crush those together? No, but no, man. Some of the books that we're gonna I've been reading lately that's really, really cool. It's a author named Dr. Frances Cress Wilson. She has this book called The ISIS Papers. Really talks about genetics, I would say. It talks about melanin a lot. I know a lot of people who are interested in black history and racism and you know what all of this actually matters. She talks about genetics and genetic warfare. And if you really want to read that book, I highly suggest you do it. It's very interesting. A book that I'm reading right now is called The United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept. That is a long phrase, long term or whatnot. But it's by a gentleman named Neely Fuller Jr. And it's a textbook workbook for thought, speech, and action for victims of white supremacy.
Wow.
No lie. And I ain't gonna lie to you, it's one of the best books I've ever read in my life. It actually gives you concrete suggestions on how to make it through this system we call white supremacy, man. It's actually very informative, and it's an extreme easy read, and it's one of the most practical books that I've ever seen. So I suggest people do that. One of the books I actually brought in here with me is it's a book called Between the World and Me by a gentleman named Ta-Nehisi Coates. I hope I said his name right. I apologize if I butchered his name. But Ta-Nehisi Coates, it's a book, and what I've been reading so far, It is pretty much a letter to his son about how he grew up and how he feels about black manhood in America. That's what I got from it so far. And he has a lot of deep anecdotes in the book and ways he's seeing the world right now and how he's raising his son in a system where his brown body is seen as a threat and it's not seen as guaranteed as making it home every day. So he's talking to his son and very intimately and very strategically, I would say. And it's a really, really good book, man. It's an easy read. It's not a book with a whole bunch of pages in it, man. But it's a page turner like a mug. So I highly suggest people read it. Any books that you suggest to people to read, man?
Honestly, I need to get back on reading myself. I haven't read anything beyond the textbook.
For sure.
It's so long. I just be like, bro, I'm so burned up for these 100 pages I gotta read before Tuesday.
Exactly.
And it's Sunday night that I don't even have no energy to really. To be honest with you.
Exactly. One of the other books that I highly suggest you read, man, my mom gave me this book when I was a kid. It's the autobiography of Malcolm X. And what a lot of people don't understand, man, if you ever really want to understand what's going on and how powerful that person was, Brother Malcolm X, y'all definitely need to read the autobiography and find out about who he was through his words. I know sometimes we get educated on certain people and how the world sees people, but it's much more educational knowing about a person through their own experience. You know what I mean? Yeah. I also suggest a lot of people read books authored by Martin Luther King Jr. There's a book called Strength to Love that's very, very potent. I think, because I know sometimes when we see, especially when we're going through situations like this, in today's age, when we're talking about racism, police brutality against African Americans, things of that nature, a lot of people love quoting Martin Luther King. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what a lot of times people quote Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I always wanted to know what all did he say? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because when you quote somebody, you normally, even in a paper, you quote the part that's most fitting to what you want.
Yeah. Right. So I think too, some of the frustration is like, hey, when we're upset, a lot of people may suggest, well, Dr. King said such and such, such and such. I know some people get upset, you know what I'm saying? Because most of the time, a lot of people quote the I Have a Dream speech, which was a great speech. However, he made plenty of speeches. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I think a lot of people need to understand exactly what he said in a lot of occasions. You know what I'm saying? Not just one where he was saying, hey, let's be together. It was a lot of times he was calling people out. He was standing up against establishments that just put their foot on the necks of African Americans and especially other minorities in this country, man. So when people quote people to help you calm down, you might want to ask people to quote everything that person said. Because most of the time when they want you to understand what another person said is usually to back how they feel about what you're doing.
Already up.
You see what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people are kind of confused about the silence, because I know a lot of people were talking a lot of stuff about Colin Kaepernick and him taking the knee or sitting down during the national anthem. And the backlash he's gotten from that has been quite extraordinary. But I know a lot of people, especially on social media, has highlighted the fact that a lot of people were vocal for him sitting during the national anthem. However, they are very silent when it comes to black people getting murdered in the middle of the street or anywhere on this planet. So what do you think about that, man? What have you heard or what have you seen when it comes to that?
I've seen a whole bunch of people just like, well, it's not even a whole bunch of people. It's just the fact. What's like, man, you know what? I'm gonna speak on something that's a little bit controversial in these last 15 minutes.
Okay.
In regards to what you just said.
Okay.
I have listened to another African American male.
Okay.
Who used to be in law enforcement.
All right.
And I listened to his perspective on it. And his biggest frustration is that we are allowing media to inform us of something that we don't necessarily know about. And the media is causing us. He was like, he doesn't agree with the rioting and the uproar. He's fine with the protests. But he was like, because we not rioting in their hoods, we not rioting in our oppressors' neighborhoods. We tearing up our own stuff to censor what he said. We not going in their neighborhoods and messing stuff up because it's a attention thing. Because it's like okay, if you can protest over here, but if you go over there, they're gonna get touched. They're gonna start shooting back. And he was just like, what you're not looking at is, he was like, as a police officer, even as a black police officer, in a moment where you trying not to get took from your wife and your kids or your family, you make a decision, is your life or mine. And he was like, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's times you can't forget that these police officers are human as well. They do react to fear. Right.
Yes, do. Yes.
So if they've been, he was like, so if the media done sat there and pumped them up saying, okay, we killing police officers now. He said we forgot about that whole part. We forgot about the whole part where the whole movement where they say Black Lives Matter turned into a terrorist organization and they started killing police officers. We're sitting there thinking, yeah, but we got to fight back. Well, he was like, but our same fighting back makes them just as scared as we are. He was like, so then that leads to a lot of premature decisions and stuff. He said that don't mean it's right. I'm not justifying anything that they do, but it's more than one perspective, and the media will control and amp up certain things that they want to amp up to hide other things. He was like, so it's not the fact that white police officers are just out here killing black people. That's just all the media is showing you. Okay. He was like, because really, to be honest with you, black and white people get killed by the police all the time. Right. But now, because of where we're at and how things have been racial, now it's the media is like, oh, well, look at it. We'll look at it. But it's been going on. And he said, you want to sit there and you want to riot about... He said, you want to sit there and you want to riot about the violence between the police officers and such like that, but you watching your own community people kill each other every day, or you stand up and protest and you say all Black Lives Matter, but you coming after me talking about you going to put a bullet in my head because I owe you $500 and I ain't call you back. He said, so you got to pick and choose when the lives matter. And he's like, why does Black Lives Matter only when somebody else is doing it?
Yeah, and you know what I would say to that. Now, this when it gets really, really tricky. You remember when we talked about last week, where anytime we make generalized statements, they're usually false. Okay. And that's a generalized statement too. You know what I mean? All right, so check this out. The assumption that people don't protest when things happen in their own neighborhood, that's an assumption.
Well, he was talking about how it gets blown up.
Yeah.
It gets blown up differently.
Right. And true. I mean, honestly, it's like the news is what sells. The news is in business. You know what I'm saying? And so I'll put it like this, man. If the news was to report everything that happens, they would never have to worry about anything.
That's what they're supposed to do. Right. That's what we're being taught in media ethics.
Exactly. You're supposed to report on anything,
what happens.
Anything that's new, right?
No bias, just what happens.
Right. But however, we don't necessarily have those meetings that's just non-biased. It's everything is with an edge or an agenda to it. There is a picture that's going to be painted with it. This is what I'm saying too. Sometimes when things actually are in the media, this is some things that we're seeing now. Sometimes the media will report something a certain type of way, right? However, we have social media that gets raw footage. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so sometimes when you be like, okay, the media is spinning this or spinning that, and you have a reporter saying this, saying that, that's cool. But sometimes when you have people having raw footage of something happening, that's when the thing goes wild. You know what I'm saying? And put like this, let's look at Tamir Rice, right? The raw camera footage, when they just rolled camera footage, when the police officer got up and just shot Tamir Rice because he had a toy gun or whatnot. I don't even know what the justification was. But seeing that, you know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily somebody heightened it. That's something happened that was really traumatic. It was a kid in a park by himself, that no one de-escalated anything. He just got up and shot him. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that's that trauma that we're talking about. When someone sees that, it's different from somebody getting a fight in my neighborhood. One person killed another person and got arrested. See, this is the thing too. A lot of times when people bring up, well, y'all don't riot when this happens, prove it. You have to just prove it. See, this is the thing. People assume that people don't take, their lives seriously. Just because I'm highly upset because the tables are actually turned. Another person, say for instance, if somebody get to fight in my neighborhood, one of them did not take an oath to protect and serve. You understand what I'm saying? One of them is not a public official. Those are two individuals, and if they get out of hand, one person wins, but ultimately loses if they win that fight really, really well. Yeah. One person is leaving this earth, and one person is leaving society. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. However, when we are filming, and what a lot of times people don't understand, when you are in authority and you have an extra level of protection, now people really feel helpless because what the people that's actually in our neighborhoods who may be violating the law, but if the people who enforce law are quote unquote violating it too, that helpless feeling is real. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Mm. And so I put it like this, man. Like, I can't tell him that he's wrong because, depending on what sells, and depending on what part of a video that people want to show. But I ain't gonna lie to you, man. There's plenty of things on social media that people just record and show people that you're like, hold on, I just saw that. You can't tell me what I just saw. That's not the media. That my homeboy recorded that. Put it like this: Philando Castillo, right? Mm-hmm. That was I think that was one of the biggest turning points when it came to, police brutality, right? When the young lady in the car with Philando Castillo was going live on Facebook. That wasn't a media thing. That might be social media, but that wasn't mainstream media. That was raw footage of something that happened of a man who got executed for following the law. You understand what I'm saying? And so when people see that, it's one thing about having an argument. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, people in the black community who break the law, it's a huge possibility they going to jail. So there is no, I ain't gonna lie to you, if somebody commits a crime, especially they're black in this society, it's a huge possibility they're going to jail. There is no protest because he's going to jail. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? We break a law. I'm like this, we don't even have to break a law really well. We can just look like we breaking the law, we going. And so when people say, well, you don't protest when somebody else takes a life, you're like, well, first of all, that person with the person with the jail is getting prosecuted, he's getting 30 years. Just, some people getting 30 years for weed. So, you know what I'm saying? If they know how to punish him. The punishment in the black community, we're not lacking in punishment. At all. You know what I'm saying? So when it happens is, that, and see, put like this, man, I have a very, very, really cool people that serve in law enforcement. I have family members that serve in law enforcement, and they give me all types of stories of the things that they see. But I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Everybody, they are part of these communities where people assume that, well, why y'all don't riot when a black person kills another black person? He was like, well, because a black person went to jail for it. You know what I'm saying? So that's where a lot of people just don't make those two connections. It's not the crime. It's just certain people may have protection when it comes to having a crime. It's not equal. It's no justice. You know what I'm saying? It's no quote-unquote equality. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, too, a lot of people don't understand. When people start yelling out black on black crime, you know what I'm saying?
But what's so funny? You know who the number one killer of white people is?
Who's that?
White people.
The number one killer of white people is white people?
Yeah, have you noticed that?
I mean, people kill where they say people kill where they live.
Yeah, people kill where they live.
People kill where they live.
If you only live around white people, then who's your number one killer?
Right.
Your own race, but it's not white on white crime.
Right, and so
that's just crime.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand. When people talk about black on black crime, it's usually used as a deflection on what is actually happening. You understand what I'm saying? So say, for instance, if I'm saying, hey, somebody stole my wallet out of my room, right? And they were like, well, you remember that time in third grade, somebody stole that pastry off your teacher's desk. You didn't say anything then. And you know what I'm saying? I'm like, did you just deflect from what I just told you? Yep. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's but that's what a lot of people don't understand. And sometimes we can get really caught up in the deflection. And that's what I'm trying to make sure I practice myself. But sometimes when you're passionate about something, when you are in trauma, your feelings do matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're valid. So when you say, hey, I have a concern, then what people start trying to tell you what you can't be concerned about.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But this is what people don't understand. All of us have been trained to doubt black concern. Black people too. All of us have. I have, because it got to the point it was just like, man, that's wrong. Okay, but what did I do? Like, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. What did I do to escalate the situation? But no, sometimes you have to just, no, I won't. I hold myself accountable until only after we address what just happened. And we have to do that. We have to stay disciplined at it, because honestly, it's frustrating and it's confusing. Because if you say, "Hey, that was wrong," well, you can't say anything because somebody got to fight in your school yesterday. You're like, "I'm not talking about that, dude. Let's talk about it after we address what I just saw." You see what I'm saying? Yeah,
because that don't got nothing to do with, like, oh man, there was some. I was like, hey man, it's some dudes around the corner, you know, they gang banging or whatever. Well, I remember back in the day when you used to do a look.
We're like, but right now, you see what's happening right now?
Right now?
Yeah. So, I mean, the deflections that we deal with, man, that will confuse you. All right? And trust me, I'm pretty sure the police officer has a valid perception about what's going on. In his mind, he's saying, hey, people are rioting over this, but they don't riot over that. My response to that will be, when black people commit crimes, how many of us are actually getting away with it? I'm talking about getting like clean away with like crimes, like especially crimes that everybody knows that person did it. Yeah. But getting clean away and just, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, well, if somebody took my family.
Well, you got OJ that one time.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's that's the reason why I'm going to hold myself accountable of how I respond to stuff like that. But that's a deflection. And if you keep responding to deflections, you will be confused all the time. You have a right to be concerned about what you're concerned about at that moment. And if somebody comes and say, but what about such and such, such and such? I'm like, we'll talk about that when we talk about that. What about what I just said? And we're going to have to do that. Because honestly, the things that concern us, they are important and they must be addressed. All the rest of that stuff that people use to deflect away from the situation, it will have to be strategically ignored. Because that will drive you insane. And that's what makes people angry. And when you get angry, you don't really think straight. Because that's what people want you to do. I mean, they want you to get frustrated and confused about what the actual thing that we need to be talking about. Yeah. You feel me? So, but yeah, hopefully y'all got some help tonight, man. But, you know, we all dealing with this thing. But don't fall for the deflection, man. Think it.
Well, I guess that's it.
Yeah, pretty much. That's 9 o'clock, man.
That's 9 o'clock. Yeah. All right, 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly, man. But make sure y'all go on YouTube.com and type in Zeta Delta Delta Manhood Mindset. This show will actually be uploaded hopefully by tomorrow. But just make sure you share this, follow us on social media and all of that good stuff, and make sure that you email us at zetadeltadelta@gmail.com for any questions, concerns, comments, or just if you want to just tell us how you liking the show, man. That'd be great too, man. We love y'all, man. Peace.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, big dog, take us out.
All right. You were tuned into the very best Manhood Mindset on WVGS 91.9 The Buzz.
Man, call you folks, man. Call you folks. Check on them. Love y'all. Peace.
Peace.